incredible man. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat. Showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me. Cause that's who I am.
We in the trenches. You like the water cooler. You be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog the hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. Down with your big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Cause special teams don't punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. Win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option. That mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Four receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score six scoreboard, that score six. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes. For all they blocks, I'm pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. We must protect this house.
And good evening, and welcome to another Witherspoon Insurance or Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon. And special guest tonight, Mr. Tom Sinafani, the Burns Bulldog himself, is going to be joining us for the pregame show. You're welcome.
Thank you, JP. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Glad you got the sponsor right this week, JP. It's good to see you on top of your game this week. Ain't that right, Tommy?
He's on top of his game every week. What are you talking
Well,
about?
thank you, Tom.
He's a true professional.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty bad. In one of the clips, I have on the same blue jacket from 4 years ago. I looked at the clip and was like, I have on that same jacket.
You're a teacher, Tom. You can't afford a new one.
No, actually, I have. I have plenty considering my situation. It's just funny how I just don't. Men don't buy clothes, do they, Dennis? We just men don't buy clothes.
I wear a lot of KTC stuff.
I'd wear a lot of You know what the funny thing was, Kevin? I got that green KTC shirt, and I had it, and my wife saw it. She goes, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "Well, I got it from Cowan." So she goes, "Oh, I like that." I was like, "Well, guess I'm going to have to get me another green KTC
Guess that one's
shirt.
goodbye.
That one's gone. Wife took that one. She was wearing it the other day. So. As long as she wears it and promotes us a little bit, right, Kevin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like her taste in clothing.
Yeah. She does. We've got various colors. It's been a little brighter. You know, we had those fluorescent yellow ones, and now we got the green ones.
Wait till you see the
Hey, Kevin.
That one.
Wait do you see our
I think Columbus wore that one on the Mayflower.
Wait do you see our upcoming Christmas radio announcer underwear calendar coming up this Christmas. Shannon's on the cover.
Shannon's on the cover.
I got October. That's my birthday. Wait a minute, have you not took your pictures
No,
yet?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Everyone else has took their
Haven't got
pictures.
there yet.
You gonna
Okay.
I'll
be here?
be-
Shannon be here tomorrow. All right.
Yeah. Anticipation.
You can choose your color of your bottoms
Does Terry have the long hair in
and
that
design of your bottoms.
Yeah. Okay.
The design and color is completely up to you. But yeah, radio Christmas calendar coming out for you guys. Tom, we're gonna have you in a sweater vest, and then it'll be a top seller.
There are women who think I'm very attractive in a sweater vest. Just happens to be the same one I married.
Was that over at the Institute for the Blind, Tommy?
No. So, your wife does kind of, everybody else sees Tom, she sees Dwayne Johnson. That's,
Is there any FCC rules against this?
that's the way it is. Your wife,
Did you say Wayne Johnson or Dwayne?
Dwayne Johnson. That's who she sees. But that's the way it is with your wife. They're just a little blind towards you. Kind of take advantage of that.
Did she smell what the Rock is cooking?
That's right. That's what she says.
Well, good evening, everybody. I apologize for Tom and JP before we get started, but good, glad they're here, and we're ready to rock. Tom, we got playoffs. Too bad the Bulldogs are out, or you wouldn't be here, but you have broadcast quite a few of these teams this year. So you've seen Crest in person, you've seen Bunker Hill in person, Shelby in person. Anybody else on that list you've seen in person?
Trying to see. Watauga was last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Charlotte Catholic's been a couple years.
You guys didn't play Brevard this year,
Yeah,
correct?
didn't play Brevard. Salisbury's been a couple years. Monroe was last year. We played them last year, but a lot on this list, they're here for a reason. They've got the stable programs, they got stable coaches, they got the kids that want to come out and play. So, the board looks very similar every year about this time. It's been a while. I was trying to think back. I'd have to look back. It's been a while since Burns hasn't been to at least a third round. Last 3 or 4 years, they've been at least in the third round. But, the Bunker Hill team, if you wanted to start out with them, I thought Bunker Hill's very good up front. And if you're good up front, you can stop that run. That helps in high school football, to say the least. So I thought they were good up front, and they had the 3 skill players. I thought McCleve, the wide receiver. I want to say Wilkins was the running back. Maybe that was his name. I don't know. Willis. That was it, Willis. And the quarterback, the left-hander. Those 3 skill players, almost every play went through one of those 3. They used it to their advantage. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, we're gonna get to Bunker Hill, Monroe, and here's some more insight on that in a little bit. I don't want you to go ahead and we'll go through the brackets here. I'll let Tom do the 1A there.
Okay.
Dennis the 2, Shannon the 3, and I'll take the 4A. We'll go around the table there. So Tom, if you're watching at home, folks, if you're listening on the radio tonight, 92.9 FM, 101.5 FM, you can always watch these shows live on YouTube. Go to KTC Broadcasting YouTube channel. Type in pregame show, our pregame show, KTC Broadcasting pregame show. You should be able to pull it up and find it pretty quickly. All right, Tommy, I'll let you have to the 1As.
All right, it's Robbinsville versus Swain County. Both those teams are in the western part of the state, and I tell you what, they love their football in Swain County. They got billboards everywhere. That's a Heath Schuler, Swain County. We also got North Rowan and Mountain Heritage. That game will be at North Rowan. We've got Eastern Randolph hosting Thomasville. And Mount Airy, the Granite Bears, seems like they're there every single year as well. They'll host Murphy. So Murphy, pretty good ride up there to Mount Airy. That's your 1A West bracket tonight.
Defending champion Mount Airy Granite Bears.
Yep.
Dennis, 2As.
Well, you've got the Brevard Blue Devils playing the Reedsville Rams. 2 historical teams. Brevard has some white squirrels in town, but Reedsville's got some really fine football players. And we'll talk about that prediction a little bit later. Well, the Monroe Redhawks, Tom, you're familiar with them from years past. They go to Bunker Hill, and this is a very intriguing game. Shannon and I will talk about a little bit more about that one and peel back the layers on it in just a little while. Forest Hill Yellow Jackets travel to Community School of Davidson. I think they are probably the overachieving team of the year and have done far beyond what people expected of them. And then we have the Shelby Golden Lions traveling to the Salisbury the Salisbury Hornets tonight. And let's face it, Shelby is Shelby. They started off 0-3, but we told you here, don't be tricked. Shelby gets better as the year goes along, and they will probably be in the playoffs and do well. And now they're playing the number 2 undefeated Salisbury Hornets tonight, and we'll give you the lowdown on that game later.
All right. Before I do this, I got a text message from Coach Nolly over at Crest. Tony Nolly, he's the one that.
Yeah, how's he doing?
He said he's watching the pregame show from Duke Hospital.
Well, hey, Coach.
He's
Okay.
he's definitely. I'm sure he's doing better. Yeah.
Speedy recovery,
Absolutely.
Coach. Thanks for tuning in, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So, all right. So for the 3A, Tom, you probably have some interest. You probably played in this game, didn't you? Play West Charlotte when you were in high school, or is that before or after you left?
I had a good view from the sideline.
Well, you were there. You were there. That's what counts.
I was there.
Hey, you were
You had
there.
to score points
The
before
the game after I got to start playing the game after, but the year that I was in that game was when Brian Knuckles and Tommy Knotts were still over there. They
Okay.
beat us 34-0, and Coach Stewart made us get on the bus and had a silent bus route all the way back from West Charlotte all the way to Bowling Springs.
Yeah, okay.
Back in those days, you could do that and you wouldn't be on the 6 o'clock news, but you know.
So, so West Charlotte's making the track to Cleveland County to take on Crest. Probably the best game of the night. Robinson, in my opinion, Robinson Bulldogs will be going to Dudley. Both of those teams 12-0 and are very similar offenses and defenses. Oak Grove will be traveling to West Henderson, and AC Reynolds will be going to Hickory.
All right, in the 4A, number 24, Charlotte Catholic will be going to number 1, Weddington Warriors. The winner of that game will face the Huskies, who's the number 5 seed, at the number 4 Grimsley Warriors. Mount Tabor Titans, number 19 seed, at the number 6 seed Butler Bulldogs. The winner of that game will face off against the winner of Independence, the 23 seed, at the 2 seed Watauga. For you local teams, we'll want to circle back to some of our teams and where you could possibly be next week. Crest, of course, will be home all the way. You'll be playing the winner of Dudley and Robinson. Hickory, you're at home again next week. If you win over AC tonight, you'll be facing the winner of West Henderson and Oak Grove. For you folks up in the Brevard area, if you guys win tonight, you'll be on the road again at Monroe or at Bunker Hill. You Bunker Hill folks, you can be a home game next week if Brevard wins, or you're going to be on the road to Reedsville if Reedsville wins. Shelby, if you win this week, you go on the road to Community School of Davidson. I don't know if we've ever done a game there, except maybe our Cherville High School crew can give us an insight on doing games from there. But I don't know if any of our other broadcast crews have done a game there. Or Shelby could get a home game if the Forest Hill Yellow Jackets win tonight over the Spartans. Crest Chart. Oh, I did the 3A. So there's your matchups, possible matchups for next week for our local teams in our 2 and 3A brackets. All right. I'm calling this week Champions Week here on KTC Broadcasting. And this is why, Tommy. After doing the top 10 here, we've got I gotta pull it back up. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right, top 10 this week. We had 25 teams make the playoffs in our local power poll, and we'll talk about the top 6 in a moment. But the top 6 teams left, guys, are the 6 conference champions that we covered. Everyone else is gone. If you're not a conference champion, you did not make it to this far in our area. So it's all 6 are the conference champions. No second place teams made it this far. So 25 teams made the playoffs in our area. We cover Lincoln, Gaston, Rutherford, and Cleveland County. And then the conferences therein, we had a total of 40 teams in our area. Had to get a drink of water there. All right. Bessemer City at 25. East Rutherford 24, Ashbrook 23, Mountain Island 22, Huss 21, North Gaston 20, Chase 19, Bandy's 18, Lincoln 17, West Iredell 16, South Point 15, East Gaston 14, Burns 13, Maiden 12, West Lincoln 11, North Lincoln 10, East 9, Statesville 8, and Kings Mountain 7, leaving us with Shelby sitting in the 6th spot right now, 9-3, 16 power points. Still alive in the power poll and in the area. And then the top 3 stayed the same mostly for quite a while. Well, never mind. New number 3 team. Top 2 stayed the same mostly. Hickory and Crest stay in their same spots at undefeated. Bunker Hill jumps up. Now at Kings Mountain's out of the poll. They're the number 3 team who Tom and the Bulldogs saw last week. Brevard up to number 4. That Davidson team is number 5, and then, like I said, Shelby 6. But the champions are left, guys. And like Tom said a little bit earlier, a lot of chalk. 3A is all chalk. 2 upsets or 3 upsets in the 1A. Looks like 1 upset in the 2A and 3 in the 4A. So they got the 3As nailed and 1 in the 2A. So 2A, 3A pretty chalk, but the 1s and 4s had some upsets. And those are kind of harder to, with the RPI and stuff, I would imagine, for the state to get right anyway, correct? As far as I'm guessing, guys, on that?
Yeah.
All right, so there are our games this week, our broadcast tonight here on KTC Broadcasting. We've got Red Zone Radio, of course, tonight coming up 7:30 tonight. We've got highlights from Shelby and Crest tonight. West Charlotte will be at Crest tonight. You can listen to that on 101.5 FM, 1390 AM WHS against the West Charlotte Lions. Then the Shelby Golden Lions will be at Salisbury Hornets tonight. You can listen to that game on 92.9 FM for Cleveland County fans, Shelby fans. 92.9 FM, of course, both games on KTCBroadcasting.com. Post-game show brought to you by CSI Mechanical of Shelby. And, of course, you're listening now to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We'll be right back. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby is now a Bobcat Zero Turn Mower dealer. Yes, come check out the new Bobcat Zero Turn Mowers at Hojo Power Sports with 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit, plus big cash discounts. And check out the closeout pricing on Simplicity and Snapper Pro Mowers. And Red Max Pro Handheld Power Tools are 15% off through December 15th. At Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Grigg Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby, in the same building as J.B. Ellis Locksmith. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, online at hojopower.net. If you're experiencing mice and bed bugs, call H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing in Shelby. They'll have your home mice and bed bug free. Schedule your free inspection today by calling 704-482-2847. And don't forget about their waterproofing. Keep your basement and home dry with one call. Visit them online at hhpci.com and like them on Facebook too. It's Small Town Christmas this Saturday, November the 18th, starting at 9 a.m. in Fallston. And Backroad Pickers on the Fallston-Waco Road is an official passport stop. Check out the special sales for more than 40 indoor and over 20 outdoor vendors. DJ Jake Dew will be spinning Christmas music and more. Enjoy apple cider by the fire pit, and Beardo Brothers Barbecue Food Truck will be there. That's this Saturday, November the 18th, Small Town Christmas. Shop Backroad Pickers, 3949 Fallston-Waco Road in Fallston. Like them on Facebook too. It's muzzle loading season at the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Come check out the Optima by CBA 50 caliber Wolf muzzle loader and the Tradition Nitro 50 caliber muzzle loader, all in stock. The Great Outdoors in Cherryville has a good stock of Savage firearms and Christensen arms too. Plus Deer Tree stands by Millennium, Summit, and be sure to see the Buck Huts by Millennium. That's the Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's, online at teamgreatoutdoors.com. If you work or your child attends Pinnacle Classical Academy in Shelby, then listen up. Call Jammin' Jay's Pizza for information about their lunch deal delivery. Call 704-600-6182. And don't forget about Cyber Tuesday. When you order from the basic menu online, you take 30% off. Just go to jamminjayspizza.com. For great food and fun, it's Jammin' Jay's Pizza, 1011 Grove Street in Shelby, off Highway 74 East, right behind KFC. Open Tuesday and Wednesday, 11 to 8, Thursday and Friday, 11 to 9, 11 to 3 for lunch on Sunday. The holiday season is here at Holly's Flowers at Uptown Shelby. Come in and choose from a large variety of fresh floral arrangements, wreaths, and poinsettias. Browse a large selection of unique holiday ornaments, decor, and stocking stuffers. Shop local this Christmas from Holly's wonderful selection of gift items. Everything from wind chimes to sun catchers to angels to snowmen to woodland creatures to bells to ornamental hummingbirds and more. Visit Holly's Flowers and experience the magic. located at 109 East Graham Street in historic Uptown Shelby. Call 704-487-1220 for Holly's Flowers. Here's a Christmas gift idea for the whole family. A new Coachman camper from Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain. And right now, it's their Coachman Model Year clearance sale. What does that mean? Save more than 40% on select models. That's right, save more than 40% on select models. And don't forget, Country Camping Corner never adds any prep or destination charges. Plus, ask about their lifetime warranty. Country Camping Corner, 101 Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Online at countrycamping.com.
Southern Equipment Rentals in Shelby knows that we often take for granted the very things that most deserve our gratitude. That is why we salute our veterans for their sacrifices. This country has not seen, and probably will never know, the true level of sacrifice of our veterans. And a special salute to Vic Atkins, who served in the U.S. Army, and Braxton Young, who serves now in the U.S. Air Force. This special Veterans Salute is brought to you by Southern Equipment Rentals, 1740 Falston Road, Highway 18 North in Shelby. Honda Motorcycles of Shelby reminds us that the veterans of our military services have put their lives on the line to protect the freedoms we enjoy. They have dedicated their lives to our country and deserve to be recognized for their commitment. We respect our soldiers, America is grateful, and America will not forget. This Veterans Salute is from everyone at Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby.
The $7 meal deal is back at your local DQ Grill and Chill in Shelby. Like the 3-piece chicken strip meal or the original cheeseburger meal, both with fries, a drink, and a sundae, all for just $7. And it's back. This month's Blizzard of the Month, the Snickerdoodle Cookie Dough Blizzard, topped off with cinnamon sugar. At your local DQ Grill and Chill, 814 South DeKalb Street in Shelby, open 7 days a week. Use DoorDash too.
Trusted, tried, and true. Those three words represent the highest standards for the Kawasaki Mule side-by-side. Trusted means being built strong and built to last. Tried means being put to the test by hard-working people doing the toughest jobs. True means staying authentic to the roots that run 30 years deep. Kawasaki Mule, the definition of trusted, tried, and true. See the Kawasaki Mule today at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk in Lowell.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Shannon, Dennis, and Tom. Looks like they might be looking at a few highlights next. But
Welcome back to the show. Tom was telling the story and JP was left hanging. I was just enjoying it. Yeah, both sides of that equation.
You always have a fun part at my expense.
Well, if you don't have fun in life, JP, you're not having fun.
Well, I'm aware of that. I'm just saying. Y'all get a lot of fun at my expense anyhow, so.
We learned about fun. We had a staff development meeting today.
Oh, boy. I'm glad I missed that.
No, we did the Wheel of Happiness.
Oh, please.
Hey, learned a lot about myself today.
We did not do the Wheel of Happiness at KTC. What about you guys?
We should do the Wheel of Happiness.
Parks
I should
and
bring
Rec.
it in tomorrow, the Wheel of Happiness.
That scares me, Tom, and I've been retired 20 years.
Between you and Terry, the Wheel of Happiness will catch fire.
The Wheel of Happiness would explode into flames.
You two live your lives.
Hey, we all need a Wheel of Happiness in our life, Kevin. Okay?
That's true. You do.
Just be glad I'm not here on Saturday mornings, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, geez. Dennis, Friday night is probably enough for you. We can only have so much Dennis. You know, we've hit our limit. Need to kind of chill out, and then next Friday we're ready to go. Because you're here like 5 hours on Friday nights.
I know somebody's got to look after
Somebody's got to
Kevin.
look after
We're here.
Kevin.
We're here like 7 hours, Tom.
Oh, I know. You're here a
It's
long
way past 5 hours.
I know.
And you
You
can't
weren't gonna
because the reason you know that because JP's here. You have to count them. There's a countdown in your head.
That's right, because you guys are on all the way to midnight. That's right. That is right.
And then I
You
got to
guys
wake up and
coming
see
in.
him.
You guys are
for
here.
breakfast.
Yeah, you're 6.5 hours anyway. It's a lot. I tell you what, who else does that in North Carolina? Covers that much high
Nobody.
school football?
No, and
But then they won't let us in the door and make us sit outside.
are we appreciated for that? Is Calvin and Kevin appreciated for their contributions to North Carolina high school football?
Sometimes.
No.
Some people do.
Sometimes.
Some people do.
The fans appreciate us. I had a guy at church. He says, I listen to you every Friday night. Said, I go to bed with my headphones on so I don't disturb the wife, but I listen to you.
Well, we sound way better than we look, folks. So just don't go to bed with it on, with your YouTube still on.
Well, that's why you brought Tom in. He's
looking at us. Did you say your friend was watching us or listening to the stream online? Sure, surely they won't let him look at us in the hospital,
He's
will
got
he?
his phone with him. He is.
Okay. He may be listening to us. I was
He
just
says he's
wondering.
watching the pregame
Okay.
show. From
So he is
Actually-
looking at our pretty faces.
That brings back some memories. I remember listening to the Shelby championship game laying in a hospital bed one year because I'd been involved in a little accident, and it's the things that KTC does that you don't appreciate a lot of times until you need them, like the radio broadcast or the YouTube broadcast when you can. And KTC's there and has been there and spreads that to people who wouldn't otherwise be able to enjoy it.
Let me tell you somebody who does appreciate KTC broadcasting, and that is the Burns community. Because like everywhere I go, people will say we appreciate it. Out of market people, especially, you know, I moved to Charleston, I moved to Atlanta, but my nephew's still playing, or my niece is in the band. You know, Wright's Jewelry sponsored the Burns High Band, and we brought the halftime band performance. So you know. It's hard to pick your kid out. I realize that, but still getting to see, you know.
Oh, Mama knows which one they're
Yeah.
And Tom, I want to give a shout out to the Burns community in support of that and support for you in the broadcast.
Yeah.
I wish every school in Cleveland County would support their teams like Burns does.
And if I could say, you know, a little something, I know I'm a little biased, but, you know, Chris White, our athletic director, has always been on our side, you know, and I like appreciate him, because if you get somebody with a different attitude, and then it's a lot harder. But Chris has always supported us and really say, you know, what do you need, Tom? We'll help you out. And every once in a while he'll say, hey, can you mention the raffle on the radio? Can you know, and that's kind of what we do. Or we had a yard sale at Burns. And hey, can you mention the yard sale on the broadcast? Can you mention this or that community event going on? We've always been happy to do that, but that's what it's about community outreach, bringing the community together. And I really think that our broadcasts have helped bring that community together.
And Tom,
really
you as the announcer, having or being a teacher at Burns, is able to bring in what's going on at the school, the events, tie the community together, as you say. And not only that, but you talk about and bring in the academic part of the school as well on your broadcast.
Yeah, so, you know, the young men need that recognition.
Are you saying we did not decimate the attendance at Burns High School football games?
No, because when I went to the games there, it was
well,
packed.
like I say this too. You can't just, you know, one thing I've stolen from you, Kevin. I've stolen this from you, and I will admit it. Don't bring your feelings to a fact fight. Just because you feel like something's happening doesn't mean that's what's actually happening. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who watch the broadcast are people who did not keep up with football, but now they can keep up with football. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now they can keep up with it because it's there. And then, what do you know? Well, I heard about the raffle. I'll buy a ticket. I heard about this time. I'm going to go up to the game. I heard about they're going to have a tailgate at the new church across the street. I'm going to go on up to the game. Mm-hmm. You know, people don't, I mean, I don't know why they don't get that. But whatever. I mean, it's just like they bring their feelings to a fact fight, and that's why. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, I just don't understand. But I never get upset, because what good is that going to do? You know what I mean? I don't get upset with when I get pushed back. If I get pushed back, I just deal with it. I've been kicked out. I've had to call games behind kids running around in the press box.
Well, Tom, I got one question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your broadcasts have really affected the hot dog sales?
I don't know. You know, I think if it's something, we need to consume more of, it is hot dogs. We need to consume more of those, because I mean, you know, if you look at the standard agreements and those are bringing good health to our citizens. I bet it blows their minds on Saturdays when we give them away for free. Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, that's more Calvin. That's Calvin more than Kevin. Kevin would not give away.
If they were smart, they would have Calvin come and do a spot and give away the hot dogs.
There you go. All right, so we got some highlights from last week we're going to roll through here in the pregame show. We're going to start with the Band of Knights partying last week. Where were they at last week? They were up at Hickory, right? Couldn't pull out the victory, but they had a good time in the stands. And of course, their band is always one of the best around. So give them one last shout out to.
And notice the guy on the front row,
the Band of Knights.
Yeah. He's like a wannabe cheerleader.
Okay,
Anna would be proud of his performance.
Yeah, if I could recognize my buddy Alex Lenhart, who appreciates you watching tonight. Alex, he said he's hating not being in the playoffs, but he did get to go home a little early today. So Alex, get a little bit of rest tonight, and he does appreciate what KTC does for us. And he did say that I need a hat. I need a Burns hat. I'm the only one that does this that doesn't wear a hat. But, I mean, yeah.
When I don't fix
Here,
my
Tom,
hair,
I'll
I
let
wear
you
a hat.
borrow mine.
But we got plenty on the walls. We've
don't-
got App State hats.
Yeah.
We've got Braves hats.
So I mean,
racing hat.
I think I have a hat out in the car.
There's
I
a
might.
Kings Mountain Mountaineer hat down the hall. Tom,
No.
you can borrow.
Put on the helmet.
no.
Give him the helmet.
I might.
There's a Burns helmet. You want to wear the helmet?
No.
I took the ear pads out.
No, I
Coach.
got
He
it.
might be able to get it on his
I
noggin.
got a hat. I got a hat out in the. I believe I got one out.
He's got now. He is a Crest grad. He could put the Crest helmet on tonight and bang
That
heads
wouldn't
in
go
here.
over well. My mother would be happy.
Would
with
she?
that. Yeah.
And Tom
Yeah.
has a wonderful mother. I'd like to just say hello to her and
Oh,
happy
yes,
birthday
yes,
to his
yes,
dad.
yes, she had a. No, it was my mother's birthday last couple weeks ago, so we celebrated. And what are we watching here, Kevin?
This is we're going right now. This is North Lincoln and Hickory. This is Isaiah Lackey talking about big human beings. The running back here for Hickory is a big human being, and Chris might have to deal with him in a few weeks. And he just boof boof boof. Looks like Christian Okoye going through the North Lincoln defense there. If for you older
Christian Okoye.
football fans,
You just dated yourself there, buddy.
for you
Christian
older,
Okoye.
for you older football fans, 40 and over. Nigerian Nightmare.
The
in the house
Nigerian
from
Nightmare.
He's
Chris,
in
Chris
Hickory
Berman,
right now.
Boy, Chris Berman, man, he made him famous.
He
The
could
Nightmare.
go all the way.
But it was just the way. But the way Chris Berman said it too, he didn't say in the Nigeria. He went nightmare. He had this little way to say it. It was good. Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard that in years.
This is Swain County scoring on Bessemer. They scored a lot. This made it 20-0. The field looking good over there with the black lines though and the pink. So
That
give
is-
props to that.
That is Heath Schuler, Swain County, Kevin.
Okay. This is North Lincoln going in the end zone. They tied it up. That's Cole Ellis on the touchdown for the Knights. We'll get over to the Shannon's Crest highlights here in just a moment. He's on a different feed. I got to switch back and forth for that. Tip pass. Bestman's back to score, and Swain County picked it off and ran it out. So that ruined her chances there. Then we picked it off there the same next drive, but couldn't return it and couldn't get no points off of it. Coming into our living room though, if you're watching at home, boom, big hit from the Maroon Devils. Ugly uniforms. Go home. Tom saw this one in person. Jeremiah Norris with a touchdown. Now,
Did he step out there?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
People they didn't see it on the field, but I saw it on Saturday morning.
Wait a minute. Are those Bessemer City lines? Are they little?
Well, no, he definitely stepped out there.
I don't know about that. How could you tell he stepped out there, Kevin?
Oh, that's clear as a bell. Yeah.
And you can see that's clear as a bell.
Yeah.
Look at that. Clear
Nailed
as
it.
a bell. Clear as a bell.
You tell me, Tom.
Number 5's down there measuring it, Tom.
Okay, there it is. There you can actually see it. That's the
Yeah.
best. That's the best. Yeah, that's definitely on the line. The what you showed me was the foot lifting up there. It was a little bit hard.
You got to remember where the referee's at. He's back behind the guy right here, number 5,
So he can't
down
see
the
it,
line,
yeah.
so he can't see that step out of bounds there. So here he comes right there. He never saw that step. So yeah, he stepped out, but he didn't see it. So nice little
Yeah.
swing pass to the corner, touchdown Bulldogs. And that made it 21-7 Bunker Hill at that point, Tom.
I just tell you, it's just when the touchdown to put them up 21-0 was that 93-yard bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It's psychologically, tough, and
Works
you
that
you
good.
eat up a lot of energy getting back in there. Like I don't think people understand that about sports, and it does take a lot of mental energy to catch up once you're down that big. But like I said, Bunker Hill's defensive front was, they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
And they're pretty good, man.
Jimmy Johnson with the second score for the Bulldogs here, Tom. Was that 1 yard out? 2
Johnny
yard out?
Johnny
Johnny
Johnson.
Johnson. Sorry, I read it wrong.
Yeah, Johnny's moving on, graduated.
NASCAR on my mind.
And Johnny, they used him in this Wildcat. I like it. The reason why I like the Wildcat, if you got an athlete back there, now you got an extra blocker, bring in an extra H-back or something, extra tight end. And, that play can work if you got a guy who knows what he's doing. I guess that the major danger is that snap. You know what I mean? Like you got to have somebody who doesn't fumble the snap. But Johnny did a nice job with that. I know it was, one of our guys at Gray. I think maybe it was Ryan Thompson did that a lot last year.
Bestman tried a fake punt, trying to stay in the game in the first half, and it was stopped. Snapped to the up back and got nothing on that one. And then here's a screen pass in our, I think this one comes to us, no, other way for Swain County. Shot up at Hickory with the Red Tornadoes. They got white helmets in this year, if you're just wondering, for you anybody that hasn't seen Hickory this year.
It seems like they should have a good team every single year, though. It's been a while. Bunker Hill hadn't won a conference championship since 1980. I mean,
well, it's what, like we asked Terry like Saturday, what would you think if I said 5-10 years ago, Bunker Hill beats Burns in the second round of the playoffs and they're undefeated? He told me he'd probably be crazy and he'd take that bet, of course. But Tom, I thought I had that play, but I guess I didn't on the 93-yard touchdown play for Bunker Hill. I got it somewhere, but
well, I mean, it's just when you're watching it live, it just looks like I said, what'd they do? They went single coverage on the outside. Like if I see the play again, but I just think it was a late read from the safety and didn't get over there. You know what I mean? It's just tough.
Is that the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys there?
It looks like the Detroit Lions. It looks like an NFC North battle there. Shannon was out at this matchup for Crest and Statesville. Quarterback, what number is he there?
19. 10 or 19.
19.
His jersey's like an extra small.
He is listed at 6'2", 225. Shannon is
no way.
You got a little bit more on that.
Yeah, he's about 285 on the hoof. That's a big kid.
He's a big, really big kid. Yeah, absolutely.
He's bigger than some of their linemen, and they had a big line, and he's just a.
I wish you wouldn't have said that because we went through that as well at some of the numbers. I just exited out as soon as you said that. Like, dang it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, Pluto with a big hit on this one there, Shannon.
Yeah, he just came up from a safety position on the screen and just a great play by him. And again, you can tell when it happens, like the jailbreak. Everybody's coming through. And
is that a linebacker or safety?
Pluto, he's a safety.
Okay.
Yeah,
he had to run it back on the read, made a good play.
And then this is just a deep pass. They just
Byron left was back there firing away.
Yeah, that's just
the hefty righty.
Got to clean that up tonight.
And again, give Statesville a lot of credit. They stayed in this ball game, and it was close at the half, and you were kind of wondering, okay, could this be the night that, a team finally was able to beat Crest, but Crest was just too strong in the end, especially plays coming up like probably this one right here when he hit Javari Green. Just a perfect pass. He just ran right under it.
Yep.
Just split the defenders.
Remember the Battleship Lorenzen? That's who he looks like right there for Kentucky. Yeah, big kid.
Shannon, the star of this highlight, though, do you know who it is?
The ref?
No?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, let's see if I go full screen. I might have to move it over. The star of the highlight is the fella in the blue shirt. Let's watch it.
Oh, God. That's so bad. That's so bad. That's so bad.
Come on, man.
Wow. When Crest scores,
that's a meme
they celebrate,
right
baby.
Why are you wearing blue at a Crest game?
I don't know. That's
when the
awesome.
other team is wearing blue.
I like any type of celebration. I like it.
How did you find it?
I just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
Wow. You can backflip. It's not offensive, but if you point, unsportsmanlike.
And for some reason, this play, I think Green got ejected because you see him pointing at the defense because they were jawing back and forth all night, both sides.
There,
yeah,
when he said something.
Yeah, and I think that's the play. But he's playing tonight, so whatever it is, disqualification, ejection.
That's not you down there dancing, is it?
Stop. I'm
CJ,
filming it.
That's CJ. I'm filming it.
That wasn't CJ.
Yeah, what? Nobody you know.
No, I don't know him.
Just wondering.
No clue who that is.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's dancing on any. Now we got to watch the whole game and see if when Chris scores on all of them, if he's dancing on all of them here on the rest of these highlights. I love it. I love when we catch the fans dancing.
I don't even know who that is.
Getting into it.
And then this play here, I don't know what happens. Oh, yeah, just a quick pass to A.J. Adams. Again, that kid right there for Crest is probably And I've said this plenty of times, pound for pound, one of the toughest kids in probably the state of North Carolina as far as just athleticism and just toughness.
Where's his brother playing?
He's at Davidson.
Okay, he's playing
and
football.
He's joining him at Davidson.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just a great, he's a good, he primarily just plays offense, but last week they did have him at corner because I'm assuming the kid that got beat a couple plays before this, or the highlight, the one that got beat on the deep pass, when AJ was out there, that kid never caught another pass, so it was still just a good, and then Husky running up the middle. Crest has just so many weapons. They have so many weapons offensively, it's just hard to stop.
One of the interesting things about the game tonight, one of the West Charlotte coaches is a former Crest player by the name of Chris Coleman, who went on, played at NC State, played for the Tennessee Titans. I've got his rookie card. He's a good guy. He went to Southern with Blue and coached down there, and then came back to Elon where his son played. His son actually had a tryout with the Indianapolis Colts this past year, and Chris is now coaching at West Charlotte. Chris, come home. Don't waste your time down there in Charlotte.
He actually holds the record for most blocked punts in the NFL game.
Yes, that's right. I was telling somebody that today.
He's not the only former Crest Charger to coach West Charlotte. Antoine Surratt, who played with me, was one at once upon a time the head coach at West Charlotte.
Yeah. Well, his former coach, who is now at Norfolk State, is also a Crest alumnus.
Well, yeah, okay.
And then again, this is just a play up the middle, just a straight handoff with the push by the whole offensive lineman. But yeah, this is the play. This is how you hit the quarterback. I mean, somebody that big, you have to just got to hit him up top. And, yeah, you just call whatever you want there.
That could have drawn the flag that could have drawn the flag. I think it's a good hit, but if you watch that, look where the shoulder goes to the head and neck area. You could.
I thought you were going to call it on the guy down around his ankles and the other guy like a double team block.
I mean, if you launch
Tell
yourself,
it to hell to me.
if you launch yourself,
I wish they had that
in,
rule when I played. They just hit you in the face.
Yeah,
Every play.
I mean that's that. If that's an NFL game, that guy's getting a fine.
Oh yeah,
If that's college,
That's 15 on
you
first down.
suspended 3 weeks.
Wait a minute. There's been some talk, Tom,
And he
about
launched.
the white hats in certain games. You have been to these games. What have you observed as far as the officiating this year?
I mean, it varies. Like I will say last week, it looked like they were letting the guys get away with heading up field before the ball snapped, but they let it go both ways. I mean, I don't like it, but if you're consistent with it, I can live with it more. A lot of holding calls. It seems like a lot of holding calls this year, does it not? I mean,
Well, what about
like
calls?
a lot of holding calls.
20 yards after the play.
Now that not too much. Now holding, yeah. Like the pre-snap penalties, it seemed they're more lenient on, whereas holding they've been more vigilant in calling that. So it just seemed like, and I think you may be more likely to call the holding. I may be crazy, but when it's not like in years past, if you held 7 yards behind the line, then you marked off 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Right.
And now you do it from the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
So it may be like it's not that devastating of a penalty as it's still a major penalty, but you don't have a 17, 18, 20-yard penalty. You have a 10-yard penalty. So that may be, hey, it's not as bad as it used to be, so let's be a little bit more vigilant and get it called.
Well, one of the things I've been told by some who attend the games in person is it seems that the officials are aging out and they're not as agile and as fast as they were years ago. And it's hard to find replacement young guys who are willing to take up the sport and become a referee. And therefore the game is suffering because of the age factor of the officials.
I mean, it's just nobody's going into it anymore. I mean, it's like our baseball clinic. I think I was the second youngest guy there, and I was 48 years old. I mean, it's just nobody's going into this anymore. And I've got a good friend of mine, Terry Henthorne, up there, and he lives up in Caldwell County. He's been a ref for a long time. Terry's probably a couple of years older than me, but he's trying to train new refs. And like there was a punt, it went out of bounds, and the guy threw the flag. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, the kick went out of bounds. It's a penalty. It's like, brother, we gotta have a talk. It's like, no. But Because I think that some of it too is you're because there's a shortage, you're forcing guys into varsity games before they're ready. I mean, I called 7 or 8, 9 years of JV and middle school ball before I did varsity ball. I mean, that's just the way it was. But now it just seems like I think that you have the shortage. You gotta move guys along maybe a little bit faster than you wanted to. And we've had some in soccer. We've had some guys in their 70s still calling games. I called a game with a guy who thought he might have cancer. He said, I've just went to the doctor today. I'm waiting for tests to come back, but he's still out there calling the game because there's nobody else to do it. So, I mean, I just think it's getting a critical point. So just, when you fans are up there screaming at the refs, telling how terrible they are and how awful they are and all that, you probably just made another one quit and made the problem even worse. So I think between 2020 and 2022, I think 50,000 officials quit, all sports combined. 50,000. I think it was nationwide. Mm-hmm. But it just kind of tells you the overall decline. I know like the kids these days and you get all that, but I do think they have to do something to recruit some more officials.
Well, what about former players? I think this is a great place for guys that want to continue, but maybe didn't have the talent level, to play D1 ball.
It's a different mentality, though. It's a different mentality.
Yeah,
I think it's more the competitive mentality, and if you're a referee, it's not you're not there to compete. You're there. It's a different mentality. So I don't really think the best players, or maybe you might say even average players, I don't know if the same mentality is there. I think one of the things that allows me to officiate is I wasn't very good at sports at all. So, I mean, I was on the team. But guys are like that. They're super competitive in everything.
Yeah.
And it's like when somebody gets one over on them, they want to get one over on that. That's not exactly the best mentality to have so it takes somebody, it's not just the physical, like you talk about the physical, but it takes somebody with the right mindset. And it is hard sometimes, to find people with, all right, well, you send me up to Shannon's game. I'm going to make sure I get Shannon because I don't like him. And he got one over on me. I'm going to get him next time. And it's hard to find people that have the right mentality and the physical and the knowledge of the game. And it's harder than it is. And you hear me during broadcast. I know y'all hear me during broadcast. I get the rules wrong, because there's so many rules to know in every game.
And they change them.
And they change. So, but we could all criticize refs in every sport, but just remember that it's a human being down there. It's a human being.
We know you're a baseball guy, though, Tom.
Yeah.
So what do you think about these robotic strike zones being called?
Well, I mean, it's a totally different subject, but would AI replace it? Well, that would solve all the griping, wouldn't it?
No.
Go yell at the computer, right, Kevin? Go yell at the computer.
Well, it's time for break. We'll be right back. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Go yell.
I'm tracking a cold front headed this way. It does bring the potential for a few sprinkles tonight, but rain chances stay very minimal. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, only a 20% chance for rain tonight. Temperatures will fall into the lower to middle 50s. Becoming sunny through the day Saturday, it will be breezy. It's comfortable with highs in the low 70s. Sunny and mild on Sunday with highs in the low to mid 60s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's
6:19, and the temperature is 65 degrees.
This holiday season, a new Honda CRF is more than the most reliable machine to hit the trails. Our lineup of family-friendly trail bikes offers the perfect gift for riders of every level, from the CRF 50F to the 110, the 125, and the full-size 250F. You can give the gift of riding to every Red Rider in the family. So head to Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, now during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, and give a gift that'll last a lifetime. It's Boston's 4th annual Small Town Christmas, this Saturday, November 18th, starting at 9 o'clock. I'm Calvin Hastings. I'll invite you to join me along with Captain Rod as we broadcast live on the Boss from Jumpin' Jads on Main Street during Small Town Christmas. There will be special sales all over town, along with carriage rides, craft vendors, a food truck, food court, Christmas music, Santa and Mrs. Claus, and get your passport stamped for a chance to win prizes at some great merchants. Our broadcast is brought to you in part by Jumpin' Jads, with special sales on West Virginia-made furniture, Billy Jacob prints, and Aspen milling sauces, and a free gift giveaway every hour. By Brackett's Drive Up at 4541 Boston Road in Boston, with breakfast sandwiches, hot dogs, and more. By Box Farm Center at 8070 Stagecoach Trail in Falston, and by Lottie Di Cafe at 4831 Falston Road. So make plans to be there for the 4th annual Small Town Christmas this Saturday, November 18th, starting at 9 a.m. And don't forget about the tree lighting ceremony at 5. Y'all come. It'll be fun.
Everything we do is in search of more go. If it can withstand 0 degrees, can it go -20? If it can run through 5 inches of water per hour, can it go to 6? We go. So it goes. So you can go. It's hard to stop a train.
Your train dealer is Forest City Heating and Air. Call 828-245-1379. Again, 828-245-1379. It's the 4th annual Small Town Christmas, Saturday, November 18th in downtown Falston. Get a jump on your Christmas shopping, and Falston vendors will be located at the Falston Baptist Church this year. Be sure to get your passport punched at participating merchants for the big passport giveaway. Enjoy the carriage ride, the food truck court, and Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. And there will be entertainment starting at 4:30 with the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at 5:30. Don't miss it. Small Town Christmas, Saturday, November 18th in downtown Falston.
Celebrating the history of rock and roll.
Best music on the planet.
This is the True Oldies Channel.
Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby knows that America's veterans have served.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. On the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show. Sorry, days mixed up. Something happened with the commercials. I don't know what it was, but something happened. So we're back with Kevin and the gang.
I'm off. Oh, now I'm on. Okay. Does this constitute a gang?
Yeah.
Are we a gang?
Yeah.
We have some symbols.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
I just want to make sure. I didn't know.
ATC.
You don't have the signals.
You can't.
Symbols.
Did you not take sign language? You can't do a K and a T and a C.
Oh, I don't think I can do that.
Okay.
Somebody has to teach me later.
Okay. All right. Well, let's predict some games today. In the 1A, Swain County, number 9 seed, the Maroon Devils go to the Robbinsville Black Knights, the number 1 seed. Shannon, what you got on this?
Well, they've already played once this year, and Robbinsville won that game 14-8. And that game was at Robbinsville. Swain comes in averaging 31, giving up 10. And they got a quarterback, Josh Collins. He's averaging over 150 yards. Robbinsville, led by quarterback Cutler Adams, running back Cutler Adams, also quarterback Donovan Carpenter. They're averaging 31, giving up 13. It's hard to beat a good team twice, especially when the last game was so close. I'm predicting Swain County to beat Robbinsville 27-24.
You like them Maroon Devils.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon's got all the facts. I'll just give you the numbers. Swain County's a number 9 seed. Robbinsville is a number 1 seed. They have identical records. They're both 11-1. They are playing at Robbinsville tonight, Shannon. I don't know if that helps them out in this one. Robbinsville is picked by 6. I predict that whoever gets the fumble recovery or the big play will win this game. I'm going with Robbinsville in this one just because they're playing at Robbinsville.
Same conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same conference. Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, the conference opponents know you pretty well. Swain County didn't look too bad there against Bessemer City, but I think it seemed like Bessemer had a shot at him, though. Did you think, Kevin? No, not really. Not really.
Not after watching it, no.
Okay. I was like, I thought they might have an outside chance. I mean, those programs are both, Robbinsville's had many good teams. But I have to go with Robbinsville at home, especially after that's a long trip for Swain County last week. Now, I know they had all week, but I'm telling you, it's tough to keep winning football games on the road. We found that out last week.
Yeah.
Bunker Hill.
All right. If Robbinsville wins, they'll host the winner of the next game. If Swain County wins, they'll go on the road to the winner of the next game. The number 5 seed Mount Heritage Cougars visits the number 4 seed North Rowan Cavaliers. Dennis, what you got?
Well, Mountain Heritage is the number 5 seed. North Rowan's the number 4 seed. Now, these games, Kevin, are about as close as you can get in terms of matchup. Look at their records. They're both 10-2. I'm liking Tom's philosophy here. The home team gets a little advantage in a game like this where the teams are so closely ranked and so closely affiliated with one another. Mountain Heritage, very good. North Rowan, very good. Advantage North Rowan, although Mountain Heritage is favored by 3 points, although they're on the road. I'm going to say North Rowan.
Shannon?
Well, again, Mountain Heritage comes in averaging 38, giving up 18. Their quarterback, Brandon Quinn, does most of their damage and scores most of their touchdowns. But North Rowan, averaging 33, giving up 22. So a little bit, their defense gives up more points. But, again, they're in a tougher conference as well. They have quarterback Jeremiah Alford. He's averaging 139 per game. And also running back Jameis Morrow. He's averaging 140 yards per game. I think Mountain Heritage is going to have trouble with the speed of North Rowan. And I think that's what's going to decide the ball game. We got North Rowan 31, Mountain Heritage 27.
Tommy, who you got in this one?
Well, I like North Rowan at home 7-0, and that's got to be a long ride for Mountain Heritage to go to all the way to North Rowan. I just don't like. It's just tough when you ride that bus for a long time. It's just tough to play a football game. I like North Rowan, even though Mountain Heritage comes in as a slight favorite, and their numbers look a little bit better. Their points for and points allowed, they do better in both than North Rowan, but. Like you said, the conference strength has to come in at some point. So I like North Rowan at home.
Bulldogs on the road on the other side of the bracket. Thomasville, the 11 seed, goes to number 3 Eastern Randolph Wildcats. Dennis?
Well, Tom's talking about that bus ride, and that bus ride is a factor. Thomasville is number 11 ranked. East Randolph is number 3 seed. So you got to say that East Randolph, with an 11-1 record, should be superior to Thomasville with a 9-3 record. Bus rides, home field, this, that, and the other. East Randolph is favored by 11 in this one. So, Shannon, give us the numbers.
All right, so Thomasville comes in averaging 35, giving up 11. They have quarterback Kevin Robinson, who last week gained 155 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns in their win over Albemarle. Eastern Randolph, they have a quarterback, Carter Revel, who's averaging 192 yards per game with 28 touchdowns. They're averaging 39, giving up 10 points per game. Eastern Randolph is tough to play at home, but Thomasville, again, one of those teams that's been battle tested. They played Salisbury, got beat 12-6. That right there tells me a lot about Thomasville. So I think they're going to go to Eastern Randolph and pull off the upset, 28-21.
Tommy?
Just looking at here at Eastern Randolph, a little bit better ranked. I like Eastern Randolph in this one. They're 11-1, as Dennis said. I think that they have the advantage. They'll be at home. I like Eastern Randolph.
All right, the winner of that game will face the Murphy Bulldogs at the Mount Airy Granite Bears. Dennis?
Murphy traditionally at this time of the year is a very tough team. They're ranked number 10, but their record's 9-3. But they play, Tom, in that tough conference up there in the mountains.
They do. They have to play. I think they've had to play Swain and Robbinsville, don't they? Don't they play in the same conference?
That's some of their foes. Yeah. Mount Airy, on the other hand, those Granite Bears are Granite Bears, and they are like granite. They're tough to move, and they show that because their record is 12-0. Now, you combine that long bus ride from Murphy to Mount Airy, a lot of curves in the road between there, and Mount Airy being ranked much higher than Murphy, although Murphy's one of those cases where the competition they played is probably better. Mount Airy is favored by 24, so I'm going to go with Mount Airy in this one. Those Granite Bears are tough, especially at home.
Murphy comes in averaging 34, giving up 22. Quarterback Brady Gant, and they have a good running back, Hunter Stalkup, averaging 155 yards per game. But I don't think Stalkup will get close to that tonight. Mount Airy, they're averaging 55 points a game, only giving up 2 points per game all season. Yeah,
that's their average. 25 the whole year.
Yeah, 25 points. So I don't think it's going to be close. I think Mount Airy wins 49-6.
Yeah, I have to go with the perennial.
All right, Tom.
Perennial
Can't make
powerhouse.
money betting on the favorites, Tom. You got to pick the Murphy Bulldogs.
Not Murphy. Not going all the way from the corner of the state. I mean, I just drove out to Hayesville.
I was gonna
3
say, who
hours.
can get the closest? Let's see who can get the closest on the drive time from Murphy High School to Mount Airy High School. Shannon, Dennis, and Tom, what's your guess on drive time from school to school?
6 hours and 20 minutes.
Dennis?
4:30.
Tom?
5 hours.
4 hours, 18 minutes, according
Dang,
to
I
the
missed it
internet.
by 12 minutes.
We're all over.
But
You're
no,
the closest.
no,
Y'all went over Wheel of Fortune style.
That's behind the wheel time. That's behind the wheel time. That doesn't
Yeah.
count.
You gotta
You
stop
gotta
and eat.
stop and all that stuff. It's a long. I tell you, because
Siri counts your stop at the local gas station.
no.
Well, it's all in curves, fellas.
Exactly. Yeah, they got to go through Asheville and then to Hickory and up 77
It's a
States. Well,
good-
if they go
it's a
through the
good
mountains, it's 5.5 hours, an extra hour.
It's a
through
good-
the,
it's a
Why don't you
good
just say
balance.
they're going to Virginia because that's where Mount Airy is.
Yeah,
that is
It's
true.
close.
All right, over in the 2A, the Brevard Blue Devils, one of our local teams here. They're the 8th seed. Dennis, they're going to Reedsville.
Hey, I love Brevard. I mean, any town that has white squirrels can't be all bad. Unless they're traveling down to Reedsville. You talk about tradition, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has Reedsville and Shelby, foretold the coming of that battle?
Well, Burns had him last year.
Yeah.
Burns beat him last year. Or played him
Tommy
last year.
could tell us all about him. He's been there and
They got
seen
that. They got that tight end who's the big basketball recruit.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
Well, Brevard is the number 8 seed, and Reedsville is the number 1 seed. Brevard is 12-2. Reedsville is 11-1. They're playing at Reedsville. That's a tough place to play, Tommy. You know that from previous experience, and so do you, Shannon, even if you're a Shelby Golden Lion. Reedsville's favored by 12. Let's make it being favored by 24.
Yeah. Brevard, they're averaging 37, giving up 15. They got a good quarterback. He's averaging 121 yards per game, but Reedsville's they're averaging 41, giving up 12. They have a quarterback, Al Lee. This is his senior year. He was a sophomore when they came and played Shelby a couple years ago, and obviously last year junior when Reedsville played Burns. He's averaging 215 yards per game, and they have a good running back in Jerry O'Cobb. He's averaging around 80, 85 yards per game. I think Brevard's had a great year, but Reedsville presents so many problems, matchup problems. So I think Reedsville wins this one easily, 49-14.
And how long is that bus ride, Kevin?
That's pretty good. But let's consider something
Not
else.
4
too.
hours.
The conference that Brevard played in.
Yeah.
Was not that strong. I mean, you can put up some good numbers if you're playing Patton High School. No disrespect to them. So I have to like Reedsville big. I really think somebody's going to have to take it to Reedsville. They're the favorite.
Yeah.
Alex just told me. That's what I thought, Alex. He was a sophomore. That he was a freshman last year. And like 4th and 10. Like 4th and 10. Okay, just throw it to that kid. He goes up.
He's
and
like,
gets
what,
it.
6'9" or something?
Something
whatever?
ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to say what he is, off the top of my head. I know he's big and he's athletic. And anybody who's good at basketball and is going to be a heck of a tight end.
He can box out and get that ball.
You're talking about the 6'7" sophomore?
Yeah, sophomore. Yep. Yeah, he's pretty 6'7". I didn't know how tall he was. He's
6'7", 245 is what he's
yeah,
he's
he's maybe an inch or so taller than me, but pretty big guy.
He would be playing quarterback at Statesville.
He's got you by 5 pounds though.
Nah, he ain't big enough.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He's not big enough.
He's not big enough to
to
play
play
quarterback.
All right, the winner of that game gets the Monroe Redhawks at the Bunker Hill Bears. Dennis.
Well, I tell you what, these 5 and 4 matchups are just gut busters, if you will. And what makes this one a real buster, Tom, Monroe. Well, I'm looking forward to your comments about them. I can usually sum up Monroe in one word: speed. They are the number 5 seed at 11-1. Bunker Hill, Tom, once again, I'm going to defer to your expertise on this. They're the number 4 seed at 12-0. Is 11-1 better than 12-0?
Well, Shannon will be able to tell us about how dynamic is Monroe. Now with Bunker Hill, they have the 3 skill players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many's Monroe got? Are they more like a crest attack where you don't know?
They've
You got
always
4 or
been.
5, you know.
When they were 3A, we played them, Tom. I'll just let you know that Monroe's favored by 6.
But like I said, Bunker Hill did not score in the second half against Burns.
Yeah.
I mean, you can defend them. You know, once Burns figured it out, Bunker Hill didn't score again. You know what I mean? So I'd like to say that the Monroe defense, you know, I saw that Burns defense get better in that Bunker Hill game as that game went along. I saw them just defend the pass better. So I don't know if Bunker Hill can score enough points to beat them, Shannon.
Well, based on previous history, and we said Bunker Hill hadn't been in the playoffs since what?
They had won the conference since 1980.
Yeah, okay.
They were in the playoffs last
Monroe
year.
is an experienced, speedy, intensely coached team. I'll put it that way. I'm going with Monroe in this one.
Well, I think last week said a lot of thing about or something about Monroe not being able to stop the run, because that's what West Lincoln did. They had to just pound the ball straight down the field, and even though Monroe won, that's developed some weaknesses that you could see that West Lincoln exploited. Monroe comes in there averaging 48. They're only giving up 11 points a game. They have a quarterback, Keegan Chambers. He's averaging 134 yards per game and 100 yards in the air, 100 yards on the ground. And also running back Nymere Kendall. That's the two that I saw, Tom, the two big names they have. So they can run it and throw it with a elusive quarterback in there as well. Bunker Hill's led by Reddick Robinson. He's averaging 182. He has 22 touchdowns on the year. But the key to Bunker Hill winning this game is going to be behind Jason Willis. Bunker Hill, if they want a shot to keep themselves, on the winning side of this, they're going to have to keep Monroe's offense off the field, and that's by running Willis till his feet fall off, pretty much, because Monroe has trouble stopping the run. And if they try to match them point for point, they're not going to be able to do it. They're just going to have to methodically at least get one stop against Monroe, and I think they win. I got Bunker Hill winning this one at home because it is a tough place. Some people are crazy up there. They've never won anything, so now they've got some little, they're 12-0, and I got them winning 28-27.
I think that if they have someone to match up with McCleve,
I
think that the wide receiver, I think that's important. And
they will.
Can they sustain that run game? I don't know, Shannon. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they have enough on the offensive side of the ball that if Monroe gets, but I'm telling you, the Bears are very good up front. So I think it's a good matchup because West Lincoln was able to play with them.
Yeah.
And I think that West Lincoln's ball control style, like obviously I didn't see the game, but their ball control style, teams with a lot of speed and a lot of athletes don't like playing those teams because they don't have the ball in them. So
it was 35-27 the final in that score, that game. So
so I think it's an intriguing matchup. It really is. But I think Monroe's going to go in there and beat them.
All right, guys. So we've got, speaking of intriguing matchups, what we've got here is, so Community School of Davidson, and you guys are talking about Monroe. How good's Monroe? Monroe beat Forest Hills 28-0 earlier in the season. Forest Hill, that's their only loss on the season. Tonight, they go on the road to Community School of Davidson, who they beat earlier this year already, 21-14 in a close matchup, and that's Community School of Davidson's only loss of the season. So they're all there together, played each other, and they've all beat each other, and so that's the matchups and what we're looking forward to. And we've actually got highlights here of the last matchup between these Forest Hills and Community School of Davidson. I can play while you guys talk about this, Dennis. So I'll let you start with these two teams.
All right. Well, let's talk about the situation here with Forest Hills. Kevin pretty well nailed it. They're 11-1. Who did they lose to? Community School of Davidson is 11-1. Who did they lose to? Forest Hills is an 11 seed. You know what happens when you're not the number one seed in the conference. And Community School of Davidson, they did get a higher ranking. They're third. I'm just not a believer in Community School of Davidson because of the experience at this level, Tom. Yeah. I think they're a house of cards, and they're going to fall tonight with Forest Hill coming into town at Community School of Davidson. Any school that's got community school quasi-charter school, whatever you want to call it. I'm going for the other team.
They were 11-1. How are they a house of cards, Dennis? That's a pretty good season.
You ever been to the river?
There's lots of rivers, Dennis.
Sometimes they come out with some pretty good cards on the river.
I'm just telling you. I don't know. This community school of Davidson seems to have, put a good look. Got a little speed. Got a guy running away from just of course. He gets tripped up.
89. I'm gonna look him up in a minute. I don't
Who
know
were
if
they
they're tied
playing
in or
here?
whatever. This is Forest Hills.
Okay.
This is against each other. There's your total yards in the last
That
matchup.
was that a non-conference game?
Right, correct.
Okay, that's a
so
non-conference.
so this is the matchup they against each other in the last matchup. So there's your for the folks listening on the radio, Forest Hills wins 21-14 total yards. Forest Hills 388, Community School 333 passing. Forest Hills 282 to 259 of Community School Davidson rushing yards. Forest Hills 106 to 75. So Forest Hills basically edged them. Edged them out on every little thing and won 21-14 there, guys. Shannon.
Well, they've got a quarterback. Forest Hills does Brady Hibbert. He's averaging 203 yards per game. He has 32 touchdowns on the year, and they also rely on running back Jordan Bennett. But Hibbert is their main weapon offensively for Forest Hills. Now, Community School Davidson, they're averaging 40, giving up 14. They have a quarterback, Connor Ferguson, at 195 yards per game, and also a running back that averages over 100 yards per game in Brandon Albert. I think Community School Davidson has the better stats in this, but again, I'm like Dennis. I don't think I don't think Community School Davidson will be able to, because Forest Hills got better. They played tougher competition since week 4. I think that's when they played before. And I think Forest Hills realizes, hey, they can go in there and just, because I don't know if they really knew what they were getting into. They, I don't know, maybe they took them too lightly before, but I think Forest Hills win this one 35-24.
Or maybe Community School Davidson realized we can beat these boys. We just messed up and then stomp a mud hole in them.
Tune in for the post-game show.
Davidson next week on KTC. All right, Tom, did you make your pick? I'm sorry.
No, I like Forest Hills to go in there and edge them out. I don't know if the house of cards argument with Dennis. I think it'll be a good game. Of course, a long time ago, Dennis. It was 2 months ago. So a lot of times they get better. But house of cards, that's right. That's hard.
What about Shelby 2 months ago?
Yeah, but they were playing like big time competition.
All right, Shelby goes to Salisbury tonight. Dennis, what you got on this one?
Well, Shelby's the number 7 seed, but a very, very dangerous Shelby seed. As Tom just alluded to, the first 3 games that Shelby lost, who did they play?
Crest.
They played Crest.
AC Reynolds.
Kings Mountain.
Hey, that's a pretty tough warm-up card, fellas.
Just playing tough teams.
Let's give Shelby credit because traditionally, Tom, from your playing days, Shelby gets better as the year goes along. The coaching kicks in, the repetition kicks in, the game planning kicks in. Salisbury, they're 12-0. So something's been working for them all year. Shannon will give you the numbers about what's going on, who threw who, what ran on this, that, and the other. It says Salisbury by 2 points is the favorite in this. They're playing at Salisbury, and normally I would go with the home team here. But Steve DeGree would come in here and slap me up the side of the head with a chicken wing. So I got to go with Shelby, Shannon, and a close one by 2.
All right, so Shelby comes in averaging 50, giving up 18. Quarterbacks, or the lines are led by sophomore quarterback Land Farmer. He's averaging 223 yards per game. He has 36 touchdowns. They also have running back Tristan Tate. He's averaging over 100 yards per game. And then they have the wide receiver Isaiah Bridges with over 1,300 yards on the year. Salisbury's averaging 47, giving up just 7 points per game. They have a quarterback, Mike Jeter, but he's at 127 per game, but their main weapon is Jamal Rule, the running back. He's averaging over 200 yards per game. He has 34 touchdowns. I think it'll be an intense game, but again, how much better is Shelby? You talking about those first 3 losses, like when Crest and Kings Mountain played. I'm thinking, how in the world did Kings Mountain beat Shelby? How in the world did they beat Burns? I mean, that's
early in the year.
It was early in the year, and it's still when you look at those teams and how well they've progressed, how much better they've gotten. And Shelby's stout against the run. They can stop the run. And if they're going to rely on Rule, they're going to have to make Salisbury do something maybe they don't want to do. And so I think Shelby goes up there and wins, and I got them winning big, 42-28 over Salisbury.
Last time they played, state championship game, final score, Shelby 33-0, 330 yards to 72 for Salisbury. They held Salisbury to 40 yards passing, 32 yards rushing, state championship game up at Wake Forest.
Ugly.
2019. Shelby went 15-1. I believe that season I just saw a minute ago.
What year was that, Kevin?
2019.
Yep. And then the next year, that same team from Salisbury came to Burns, Tom, and I think that's when they won on the field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that was the Ben Mooney game. That's when
yeah.
That was the Ben Mooney game when Ben got in there, unexpectedly started.
Yeah.
Because Sweezy couldn't go and almost pulled that thing out. But I tell you, that kid hit like a 47-yard field goal or something. You just got to tip your cap when he does that. But yeah, that was a good football game. And Salisbury's a good team. You know, do I expect a lopsided game? No, but I watched Shelby against Lincoln last week. So I was glad to get an opportunity to watch Shelby last week. They looked pretty good against the Lincoln team. Even though they made a few mistakes, I like Shelby to go up there and win. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think that they're battle tested and they've gotten better as the years gone on. Yeah. And the Bridges kid is just outstanding. He makes a lot of plays. And Hollyfield, I'll tell you, the way they go wildcat with him in the short yardage situation. If it's 3rd and 1, it's a first down. Right. So I just like Shelby in this game. I just can't pick against Shelby when they're going downhill, man. They're really rolling. Well, not downhill in negative sense, but they got a lot of momentum. I guess is what I'm trying. They got a lot of momentum. So I just think they're going to beat Salisbury tonight.
Tom, here's some highlights of that Salisbury 2020 game there with the Bulldogs, where Salisbury was at 10-7, I believe.
It's a spring 21.
Yep, a spring 21 game.
21.
That's right, it wasn't a spring. Yeah.
Spring 21. Yeah, I remember that.
And they had that good linebacker that went to Georgia too. When it went to Georgia,
they did, and it was just
But that lucky kick at the end, Tom, I think that's what did you guys.
You don't hit a 47-yarder by luck. The kid got a leg, man. That kid had a leg, Dennis. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tip my cap to that kid. He nailed that field goal. It's just, don't show it. That one still hurts.
We'll get I'll get to it in a minute. But all right, we got to get to the next game. Do we get all predictions on that? Everybody go Shelby on that one?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah. All right, West Charlotte goes to Crest this week. This will be on 101.5 FM tonight. Listen with Paul Foster and Rob Roop tonight on the broadcast for the Crest Chargers hosting the West Charlotte Lions. Dennis?
Which Charlotte team is going to show up tonight? Is it going to be the old conference rival, Tom, that we used to just battle tooth and nail, blood and guts? Or is it going to be that sort of modern version of West Charlotte? With the nice, they built a whole new building and everything. It's still over in the part of town that can be a little rough around the edges, but they've cleaned it up. They've gotten some better coaches in there. I'm still not sure they've got the discipline that it takes to beat Crest in this particular game. West Charlotte is the number 8 seed at 9-3, but they've played a lot of 4A competition, Shannon's going to tell us, and they've won some games, and they've lost some close games. Crest is the number 1 seed overall. They're 12-0. But quite frankly, last week was it was an Alka-Seltzer moment for a lot of the Crest fans. I tell you what, fellas, based on the fact they're playing at the Sid Bryson tonight on the George Litton Field, coming out of the John Taylor locker room and running past all those tombstones, Tom, that you helped to put there. Don't tell the Burns people that.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm a homer. I'm going with the Crest Chargers tonight. It may be a very close game, or it may be a total blowout. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going with a very close game, but with the Chargers home field advantage putting them over the edge.
Real quick before you go, Shannon, they talking about West Charlotte's schedule. They beat Monroe 43-29. They beat Independence, who's still alive in the 4A, 21-20. They lost to Huff, who's still alive in the 4A. That's their only loss, 23-7 on the year to Huff. They beat High Brighton, for anybody who want to know, last week, 29-8. So there's some of our – no, they got a couple of losses. I'm sorry. They're 9-3. They lost to Chambers and North Meg. So
Chambers was a state champ last year, 4A.
But not this year.
No, they got put out last
All
year.
right, Shannon, what you got?
So again, West Charlotte, they're averaging 30, giving up 18. I think the one thing that helps them out, they'll be able to match the speed Crest has more than most teams would. Crest is averaging 48, giving up 18. Crest has 3 receivers right at 1,000 yards receiving on the year. 2 of them with 970 something, and then AJ Adams with 973, and Malachi Addison with 923. Obviously, Green is over 1,000 yards already, so that's real impressive for the Charger offense. But the one thing that's going to help Crest is help them every week. It seems like is their special teams play, and they always seem to run a kick back unless the team kicks it out of bounds. But anyway, I think Crest will be good at home. I think it'll be a close game. I've got it. Well, that's wrong there. I think Crest wins 28-20 over West Charlotte, and it'll be a tough ball game. It'll be a hard fought game.
I'll say they can't fall behind tonight. I don't think they can afford that, like they did against South Point. But I think playing at home, I think they got a lot of good positive momentum too. I like the Chargers to prevail tonight. I like what you guys are saying. I think it's a touchdown game. I think West Charlotte's really going to test them. You don't get to the third round if you're not any good. So I like the Chargers in a close game tonight.
Dudley of Greensboro, 12-0. They scored 654 points on the year, only give up 84. They host Robinson tonight. Dudley is the 4 seed, Robinson the 5, Dennis.
Well, there again, that sets it up. You got a 5 seed playing a 4 seed. At a 5 seed, J.M. Robinson is 12-0. And Dudley, at number 4 seed, is 12-0. Shannon, maybe you can tell us a little bit about who they've played and who they beat, because both have outstanding records. Dudley's at home. I hear they're very, very fast, and they're very, very big, and they play virtually nobody. On the other hand,
they've scored 654 points.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tom.
That's a ton.
If you were playing, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but let's say Thomas Jefferson every night, you'd probably have 600 points too.
Well, they're 3A. They got to be playing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the competition level is
Greensboro area, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so they got to be playing, some decent.
But who else in the Greensboro area in their league?
They play in Page. Remember, Greensboro Page used to have some decent teams.
They played Page the first game of the year, Tom.
They beat them
40 to. Well, they're undefeated.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Duh.
They're 40-7.
40-7
over Greensboro Page. Northeast Guilford down in here in the conference. 48-0.
Sometimes they play the Forsyth County schools too.
Rockingham County, Southern Guilford.
Yeah.
Closest game they've had this season. I'm just going to tell you the scores. The lowest points they've scored this year is 35. 40, 57, 54, 63, 56, 77, 48, 49, 64. 35-10 against Eastern Guilford is the closest game that they had this season for Dudley. And that Page game, basically, 40-7, same
That's
score.
what makes it tough to pick. And they're looking for a showdown with Crest because they think they can outscore Crest and win. I'm going with Dudley in this one simply because they're at home, fellas.
Yeah, well, Robinson, we talk about Dudley. Robinson's also undefeated. They're led by quarterback Isaac Lee. He's averaging just under 200 yards per game. And then they have a running back, the ledge right. He's averaging 173 yards per game. Robinson's averaging 43 points. They're only giving up 8. Dudley comes in averaging 55, giving up just 7. Their quarterback, Andrew Atmore, he's averaging 264 yards per game. They have a running back, LJ Southern, that's right at 100 yards. So, again, very similar teams, very evenly matched. I think it'd be an incredible ball game. The one thing that keep you on the edge of your seat for sure. But, again, Dudley, you got to give them the advantage at home. But I think it's going to be a close game. I got them winning 24-22 over Robinson. It would surprise me if Robinson won. They're both that good.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Yeah. Dudley at home. I just like the home teams in these. It's probably not that far. It can't be that.
J.M. Robinson's Concord, I think.
Yeah, Concord.
Yeah.
So you got to go up. You got to go up the road a little bit. But I just like Dudley at home. They're scoring a ton of points, man.
Yeah.
Scoring a ton of points.
You're right.
So what do we got next? We got let's do that Hickory and AC game. I think that's the one we would know the most about. That Hickory's had a great season, undefeated. AC Reynolds shuts out Kings Mountain last week. Shut them out, Shannon.
Yeah.
But is it because they're that good, or because Kings Mountain offense was
they
that
weren't
bad?
they weren't very good, but still to get shut out in a second round playoff game. I mean that you got to be decent for that. And plus,
traditionally, Tom, teams that play at Reynolds, it's a very, very uphill battle.
Yeah, it is, and they have beaten Shelby this year, so we know they've played quality opponents. I've just been like waiting for Hickory to lose this year, and they just haven't, Shannon. You know what I mean? They're the real deal.
Yeah,
They're
the
real
thing is, last week Reynolds only got 23 or 26 yards total offense.
And they've got to go to Hickory.
They've got to go to Hickory. But then Reynolds is averaging 35. They're giving up 11. They have a quarterback, Hayden Craig. He's got, he gets 133 per game, and they also have a good running back in Tyvon Patterson. But their main star, the running back they had last year, the Guest kid, he's back, but he's not going to be healthy enough to make a difference, I don't think, because he just don't have the stamina yet.
He's only they only scored, I think, 7 because the last touchdown that AC Reynolds got was because the unsportsmanlike conduct and then the penalty on the free kick, and then they had a short field and scored at the end. So really, that game was essentially a 7-0 game, Shannon.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So I don't know if AC's got enough on the offensive side of the ball, and Hickory, maybe not the toughest schedule around, but they have not lost. So I like Hickory at home tonight.
Yeah, they're Hickory's averaging 46. They're giving up 20. They've got a good quarterback in Brady Stober. He's averaging right at 230 yards per game, and they have a good running back who's averaging over 100 yards per game. But I think the key to stopping Hickory is going to keep basically tonight. Reynolds got to keep that offense off the field, but I don't think they will. I think Hickory wins easily in this one. I got it 48-20 over AC Reynolds.
Yeah.
Well, I think that further shows Kings Mountain's offense up, because they will go up there and basically Hickory will do to AC Reynolds what AC Reynolds did to Kings Mountain last week.
And give Kings Mountain defense credit. They only gave up 20-some yards. That's
23 yards,
7 points,
and
really.
they won, Shannon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's remarkable. I'm going with Hickory, Tom. I agree with you. They're at home. They have 12-0. They've got an offensive explosion. Hickory by at least 3 touchdowns, Shannon.
Yeah.
I don't know about 3 touchdowns.
Let's talk about Oak Grove and West Henderson. All right, Shannon, give us the numbers on that.
All right, real quickly. Oak Grove, they're averaging 40 giving up, Oak Grove comes this game, they're averaging 40 points per game. They're only giving up 13 points on defense. And West Henderson, they are averaging, I can't find it here. I don't know what they're averaging. But anyway, the West Henderson's played tough all year. They got a really good quarterback, Cade Young, and a good over 100 yards per game, a good running back, Carson Dimsdale. He's at 172 per game. He has 32 touchdowns. West Henderson surprised me by pretty much destroying East Lincoln last week. And I think, I think Oak Grove will present some problems, but I think West Henderson wins at home 28-17.
Well, Oak Grove is the number 6 seed. They are 11-1. West Henderson is the number 3 seed. They are 12-0. Now, Oak Grove has only been a school, I understand, for 3 years. So they've had incredible performance to get to where they are tonight, playing against West Henderson, which is a storied school and in that conference, and has been playing very well this year with a 12-0 record. West Henderson is favored by only 3 points, Shannon. I don't understand why that. Oak Grove's competition, maybe, we can look at who they played and figure that out. But, Tom, I'm going to have to go with West Henderson at home tonight to play Hickory next week in a showdown to see who will play Crest.
Yeah, I like it. West Henderson, I think, will win at home and set up that matchup. I do think that we got a Hickory-West Henderson matchup next week. That's my prediction, guys.
All right, thanks for everybody for listening. and watching the pregame show brought to you by Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby. Tonight, Crest at home host, West Charlotte on 101.5 FM. Robbie Roop and Paul Foster have the call for that. We will have highlights of that on the Red Zone channel. Over in Salisbury on 92.9 FM, Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones will have the call for that on 92.9 FM for Shelby fans, ktcbroadcasting.com.
WHS Shelby, WCSL, Cherryville, Kings Mountain, Gastonia.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Naughty or nice, explore a nautical-inspired entrance filled with coastal Christmas charm. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets early and save at southernchristmasshow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Craft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Get more bang for your buck this fall with Buck Days at James River Equipment. Buy any new John Deere 1 through 4 Series tractor with a loader, and you'll receive your choice of a rear blade or a set of pallet forks for